Namaste, welcome everyone to satsang this morning. Welcome, welcome. Welcome also all those who are joining us via broadcasting for today's satsang, wherever you may be in the world. And may this be the most fruitful, most important and that whatever it is that is your heart's deepest urge or longing, by the grace of God, comes to be fulfilled. I cannot speak about tomorrows, it doesn't exist for me. We are here now and we must endeavor to discover what it is about this here now-ness that is significant. Not postponing or pushing forward to another next moment, but just to discover yourself in its fullness as we are here today. In very simple language, if it is useful, I want to remind those of you who are coming maybe for the first time to satsang, not to be in too much of a hurry to raise questions. I wish primarily to hear from those who have been following the pointings, which are quite direct. I hope if there's further clarification to come, that also will make itself available for you. So, and that your questions are not too deeply personal. I will speak with you first. In the blue shirt, please come.
I yearn to live the rest of my life the way I feel right now. And in this peaceful, blissful, contented state of being. And well, I don't want this to be too personal. The struggles that I have to do with behavior patterns that just get in the way of my spiritual journey from time to time in an unexplained manner. And there's two aspects. One is a tendency towards addictive behavior that manifests by the consumption of alcohol in heavy doses over several days that's triggered by things I just can't explain. And then the other comes from a more deeper place. I mean, the addiction seems cerebral, and it's kind of a choice of mine, and I can understand that and kind of deal with that. But then there's a deeper aspect of that comes more from my core and my heart that has to do with the it's hard for me to say this, but that has to do with sexuality and my sexual energy and the polarity of my yin-yang energies and how they and then that I've had since, it seems like all my life, since birth, and then how that manifests out in a way in the form of behavior patterns like fetishes that prevent me from authentically being with other people, at least 50% of the time. And my question is, in my spiritual journey, in my divine journey, it feels like I have to, that the way to move forward is to simply accept the energies, the polarity of my energies. But I'm struggling with that, and how do I do that healthily and in a way that supports my divine journey?
Okay. Okay. I will take something back which I said, because it can be largely exaggerated in the mind, that, please, don't come with anything personal. Come with whatever. Okay? Because if it is, what I really wanted to say, that if we are not, sort of devoted to just the personal language and person, then because then we can't come out of that little pond, you see? But if it starts that, yes, there's all these things, and of course, it would be a severe restriction to say, don't mention anything personal, when almost all our life is personal, as perceived by most of us, no? So forget about that, okay? Right. Now, what you have said here is not uncommon. It's not like, wow, that you're an outcast, although some people may behave like that. I don't feel that there's anything so out of this world about that. I'm happy that you came like that, because what I have to share with you is a lot simpler for you than that. If I were to try and guide you to come out of this, and you have to do that, and you have to practice this, and you have to get this thing clean, and you have to wash this out and take that to the laundry, and you have to smash that, and I think I'm not helping you, actually. Why I say this? Because one thing is, all of these things that swim up around our lives and then become so seemingly chokingly claustrophobic and almost impossible to come out of, exists only for your self-image and for the idea you have of who you are, rather than your true nature. We are all living in a mistaken identity. We didn't make that mistake personally. I feel all sentient beings feel as though to come into this and experience this plane of existence, each was dipped into this conditioning liquid that makes us feel that this is what we are for a time. And what I want to tell you is that, first of all, there is your true self. You cannot exist without that. That is your fundamental nature, your essential being. It is not somewhere in some divine space waiting for you to clean up your act to then say, okay, now I will visit you. It is underneath, it's here actually, and the thin layer of the illusory life that we take ourselves to be, and which we feel totally, it's such a journey to come out of this in order to be who I am, is a misconception actually. And I want to show that. I'm not trying to excuse things and say, oh, it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. I would just want to invite you to look with me and to just take the heat and the focus of the sense of the person who has done all these things, who is like this, and now has to undo all these things to become what it is. Because that is the popular misconception that we have all somehow sucked into ourselves. We perceive ourselves primarily from the standpoint of our body-mind identity and its world, and very rarely are looking from the deeper place of the pure consciousness that we are. Now, I can say that totally confidently, because when I look at you, anyone actually, what I see is not your person fundamentally. I know that you are what I am. But I know that in that expression of consciousness, in that system or operational system of consciousness, there's a belief hiding that intuitive recognition and experiential recognition of what you are. So this is my point of contact with you, to first of all say, I'm not going to address you as the one who's just doing that. I'm just going as I'm going with you at the moment, right? You are speaking and saying, well, yes, it is true that I have layers of areas which are seem to be out of alignment with what is necessary to really live in my heart. You actually started by saying, I wish I could live the rest of my life in the way that I am right now. Because right now you're feeling a degree of peace and spaciousness, calmness, maybe love. No? You say, I wish I could live this life. In fact, even you don't have to live that life. That is your natural perfume, life. And I hope we can find that recognition as you stand here today with me. Because I was about to say, what comes in between that? What will stop that from being your continuous, unbroken, effortless state? What would get in the way of that? And the single most important factor is your identity as a person. And all of us have taken on a personal identity. I would say it is an intentional play that we, being fundamentally the pure consciousness, will for a while identify with the body, which is the instrument through which consciousness needs in order to taste experiencing. And once that identification with the body becomes set, then other ideas can begin to come in and pile on top of that one. And then the construct of what we call a person is the fruit of that collaboration. Mm-hmm. It's nothing personal. It was not a person who designed that. It's like that is the password to be in this field of consciousness for a while. The good thing is, for me, is that whatever form this consciousness take, is that you have the advantage because you are already the pure consciousness in a dream of believing that you're merely a person and clothed in the limited attributes of the person's capacity to really wake up to its true self. But I'm going to show you in a very simple way, actually, that the focus is not just put on trying to change behavior, because that's a classical way in which we move to try and clean ourselves. But the self we are trying to free up and clean is by its very nature unpredictable, always changeful, and yet something inside believes that it is fixed. This is what I am. This is the fact of who and what I am, in the world, but not totally. I know that I can grow and become better. This is how almost all human beings perceive themselves. So I'm not going to go into a big debate about that. I'd rather just kind of look with you. The things that you speak about in regard to yourself or your self-perception, and let's not just put the light on you. Whatever I'm saying to you, we can use it. It's a universal thing. Right. If you're smart, you can be on the same train and you'll come to the same outcome. The things you spoke of in terms of your self-perception, that, I have various levels of addiction with alcohol and then with other substances, and then the sexual, sort of like strong sexual energies, which are almost impossible to control and so on. Let's start there for a moment. Whatever these forces may be, something is aware of them. Simple. Don't think I'm speaking mystically here. Just basic baby food language. Okay?
Okay.
There is a natural awareness, obviously, because you can report about it. In fact, even during the highest pulsation of those energy plays, there is the possibility to just observe them. But we are not taught to do that, because like a reflex, we immediately identify with the person who is in that crisis, trying to come out of that crisis. So I'm not going to take that route with you. I'm going to say, for instance, that what you speak about is observable. is not observable only in hindsight, meaning that when it is finished, you can talk about it. I want to show you that even during the highest pulsation of these energy display, there is an awareness present from which you are capable of observing them and even observe the identification with them. Has anybody understood what I'm speaking? So,
I have.
Yes.
And it feels like I'm observing them right now, actually.
Okay. Yes, yes. If you observe this either through memory or through the actuality of their energetic and physical presence, if you are observing, you're present observing, but don't identify or log in to the scenario of what's happening, but just comment like a witness to them. Is possible?
Yes.
So even if now you say, oh Mooji, whoa, it's coming now, whoa, can I sit down? Ooh, it's a very strong thing coming up in my mind, like I suddenly feel like I need a drink, can I just pop out and stuff? And I say, no, hang on a second, just stay with me, just watch that and talk with me, give me a feedback of what is happening with you, okay? But
Okay.
Don't climb into that. Don't combine what you're seeing with what you are as the one who sees. Don't hold on to any identity for a moment. Just be the seeing. Would it be possible? Would it be a practical, useful advice to say that?
Yes.
Okay. I know it is. I just want to hear from you.
Yeah, and it feels, it energetically, it feels, I mean, I don't want to use the word feel with energetically, but my experience is that I'm observing the sexual energy without identifying with it.
Okay. So let's carry on like that, whatever it may be in this present moment, whether it's some sense of resistance coming up, because that's quite a common one, like, I don't get this, something saying, I don't get this, I didn't come here for this, I came here to just have some blessing and go, or I want to come and just kind of like ask him about, no, don't, you may be aware of those voices or those kind of sensations, but I'm asking, are you able to stay detachedly witnessing them? Anybody? Just be aware of them, but right now, don't sort of log in or combine or hold on to them. Just stay in the witnessing. It's very significant. It's very important. And if you do and you're able to, watch what's going to happen. Watch what it is like. That you're simply reporting, now I can feel like these energies are coming up. My breath is changing. I can feel, but is this happening to the witness or to the one who you take yourself to be in the experience? Just simple thing, just check in, you see?
I'm not sure I understand.
Okay,
the question.
I understand why you don't
when you
understand.
say, is it happening to the weakness or the one?
I repeat, okay? Supposing whatever it is that's coming up in the body-mind as thoughts or sensation, something is coming up, and there is old patterns of responses to that. Also maybe identifications already in with that, like, whoa, here it comes again, and oh man, I just, I'm not, whoa, just please, and you have identified, you're identified with it, something is identified, this is happening to me. Okay? And not normally. No. So I'm just asking, okay, don't fight with that, don't try to change that for a moment, just stay out of it, because you are aware that you can keep looking. Maybe at some point, if I say from 1 to 10, what is the force of the present feeling that's coming up? It's just an exercise. What's the force of the present feeling? You say, it's like, it's 6 going towards 7. Oh, so, whoa, so it feels very strong. Yeah, it's 4. But I'm still just looking, okay? I'm not united with it completely, but something feels like really, how long I can stay out of it for, I don't know. It's going up to 8. Whoa. It's really, so for instance.
So that's exactly right. I'm observing it now as a witness.
Yes.
And then my mind is saying, but what happens when I succumb to the desires in a more physical way?
So the mind is saying, so what comes when you succumb to the desires, okay? Who exactly is it speaking to, if we can? Please bear with me, because when we're looking like that, you may begin to experience that you're losing focus.
Right.
And it's not because you're tired. It's because actually as you zoom in to look at something and to really see it clearly, it is as though something is throwing a stone in the bush, so you kind of get distracted from off the track.
So the fear, it feels like fear got in the way of my witnessing.
Yeah, but that is witnessed.
Okay.
You're still here. Okay? So if the fear comes and kind of in front of the witnessing, but now that is also witnessed. The witness has not moved. You see?
Yes.
Okay? So you just stay watching. Because any number of sensation can come and you can see, oh wow, no, I can't stay witnessing this because like the force to get pulled into that shape is so strong, I don't know, it's kind of 9, Mooji. It's 9.5 actually, 9.5, but that is still witnessed. Yeah. The pull might be there energetically, but however, if it goes past 10 even, it is still witnessable. But so much identity is pulsating here. Huh? Huh? For whom is it pulsating, you see? Is it witnessable or not?
Well, is it weakness or not? Okay, the experience is there's a part of me that doesn't want to be happy. That's the experience. And so
that is true.
Okay.
And that is true for everybody. As I said before, in each expression or unit of consciousness, there's a force that seems to be strongly pulling to keep you in the state of personhood,
right,
personal life, circumstances, situation, relationships, money, reputation, desire, that the attention gets fixated there. And so you're swimming in this pool of personhood. But there's another force also that can go higher, into higher altitudes of consciousness. You see? So it's like these forces seem operating within the human expression of consciousness. You see? You are aware of them. You are now aware of, you said in the beginning, I wish my life could continue being lived out in the state I am now. And that is a higher vibration. Lower vibration is this thing like some urge is coming to take me and I don't know if I can resist them and for how long. Because they appear at some point just to overtake any determination power that I have, any ability just get swamped by them, and then for a while, that's it. But I'm asking you just to observe as much as you can. And then when they take over and you can't speak, like you're speaking like underwater, you tell me, yeah, actually, bye, Mooji, bye, I'm gone. Okay?
Okay.
So let's try that. And yours is a good case because it sounds like the kind of this play can get very intense. I want to see at what point you lose consciousness as a witness. So we're just trying a little exercise. So now this feeling is there and you feel, Mr. Alcohol G is coming up. The pub is open. Okay, all right. Okay, so whatever it is, that feeling comes and I'm saying yes, but you are only observing. And the capacity to observe is still very present with you. You may think it is not. Sometimes it goes, no, I don't know how long I can keep looking like this. And then I point you, but that's just a thought.
right.
You can believe in this thought and it will have more force, or you can stay as the witness of this thought and you remain untouched. You see? It's a very important thing.
So can you do that all the time? Be a witness?
Stay with me for a moment.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah. Just do it this time. Okay? So the feeling come and it's like, whoa, and you just stay. Is there anything alive that we can work with right now?
With regard to a desire to like
What-
drink or?
Yeah, whatever. Is there anything that feels active enough that we can look at together and to see where this comes out? Or are you only reporting from memory? Because, of course, to be fair, you stood up and say, actually, I feel really good right now.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well, okay, right now, it's like, how can I mess this up? And somewhere in my brain, cerebrally, I'm saying, oh, I can go.
Who is the one? Can we just slow down a little bit and go back to the one who feels, how can I mess this up? Okay? This one, this identity that say, it's great now. How can I mess this up? Okay? Now, I hear that as a thought. And maybe a thought that has been habitually identified with for so long that it just feels like a force and a fact. I know that at some point he's going to just collapse and I just can't keep this up or something. But that is a thought observed right now.
Okay.
You see? And if you look like this, okay. And something goes, relief. Thank you. But that is still witnessed. Okay? So don't start opening the champagne just yet. Okay? Anything, even a feeling of relief, like, thank you, that makes so much more space. I say, good, but still don't log into anything. Don't make any conclusion about anything. Just stay like you are just your eyes floating in space with no brain attached to it, okay? You're just looking, okay? And I don't mean just fleshly eyes, I mean the eyes of perception. Right. You're just perceiving, you see? So I would like to have been speaking with you in the actual dynamic and energetic pulsation of those forces coming up, okay? But is what I'm saying still useful for you?
Yes.
If you, yeah?
Yeah, it's empowering for me to hold the witness.
You see, you don't have to hold any weakness, just weakness.
Just witness.
Holding weakness is another job you've taken on. Witnessing is natural for you. You don't have to hold weakness. I can only point you, don't log into the movie of your seeing, because this is what we all do. We start to report about the action that's going on, but rarely about the one who's perceiving it. You see? So even the one who is perceiving it, if the one who's perceiving the action is going, no, 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 oh, no, no, no. So it's very much connecting with the movie in front of itself.
Right.
So I'm still speaking to a deeper witness to say, can even this one be witnessed? Not just the thing going out front, but the one it appears to be happening to, who is feeling, oh no, oh no, oh no, please, it's happening. Can that not also be witnessed?
Yes.
We're just slipping a little bit more deeply. Don't carry anything, don't hold on to anything. Just, I'm only pointing out something you already have, but you've not been using a tool. So just carry there, and you may feel that, whoa, the energies to go and do this thing is so strong, it's so strong. I'm saying, could you keep on just witnessing that? No? And then when it is too much, and the force becomes too much, whatever that may mean, where I see you running out of satsang looking for a pub, and there's not one around here, by the way, but you might be. I'm saying, what is your name?
My name is Dale.
Dale? Don't get caught in the gale. And you're going, hey, man, whoa. I'll talk to you later, I gotta go. If that happens, which it can, and I say, can you observe this? And you go, listen, man, please, I don't want to talk to you right now. Like, I've got to find a drink. Okay? Then I understand that. Then I say, listen, okay, go and have your drink. I catch you later. And if you come back later, slurring, saying, Guruji, I'm so sorry. Can we talk now? I said, no, just go and get some sleep. I'll talk to you after. But we can look, and this importance of looking and saying and recognizing that as the weakness, to the point where the weakness is not caught in the bubble of the story of the witnessing, that may become a developing power in you more, until you come to see it is a natural and effortless power in you.
Amazing.
You see? So I'm very happy to speak with you again, and especially if we're here and you feel something is coming up very strongly, and I say, you put your hand up and come as close to front where I can see you, and we can talk more.
Thank you so much.
Because I don't want to just speak theoretically. We can talk about this, and you can all listen to that and say, yeah, okay, I kind of got that. But when the storm comes, can I hear this voice? Can I use this voice inside me? Yes, you can do. That's the most important, that's the significant shift from the state of person into the state of presence. Because the person is a presence, dreaming itself to be a person, suffering its environment and its thoughts and emotions and so on. I feel we're going to come out of that quite easily. Very easily, if you can follow. But sometimes there's a lot, as I say, the truth is simple, but the seeker of truth is quite complex. And if you can begin to observe this sense of complexity without trying to not be complex, just observe and recognize, I'm just an observer of this. I'm not a mechanic fixing it. I'm just going to observe and see what can happen out of only observing with detachment. Then you're going to make a significant discovery in yourself. And I hope that we can proceed inwardly with that to the point where all of this, you're just out of the box. You're out of the box. You're not even in it right now, but when it flares up, the feeling can feel like I'm overwhelmed, I really can't even hear you. All these things come. Sometimes when we have logged in or in a state of deep identification, you may feel like, I just can't hear you. Sorry, I just can't hear you. Can you say it again? And I will stay with you. And we might try a different thing, but it's going to work. It is already started,
Yes.
but we can continue with this. Okay?
Thank you.
So we leave it for the moment, and thank you. Very good. Can I speak with you? Yes, come now.
Namaste and salam, Mooji. Thank you so
Namaste,
much.
Namaste, Aslam.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So my question is, a few years ago I went through a really tough time, which also led to an awakening.
Yes.
It led to answers that of questions that I had been asking for a very long time. But as I was coming out of this really dark phase, I was seeking help with therapists and healers, and I was also at the same time going into presence and realizing that, this is it. Now what I observe in myself is that there's kind of this division that has happened.
This what?
Sorry. There's this division.
Yes.
There's this split. On one side, I'm trying to improve my mind. I'm using the tools or techniques that I've learned in these couple of years. And on the other side, I'm just trying to witness. And usually with the witnessing, I struggle because I fall asleep.
Yeah. It's one of the aces of the sleep of the mind. You go to sleep.
Yeah.
It's not a real sleep. It's not a real sleep. It's an avoidance sleep.
Yes, because in the morning when you start the invitation, I'm very awake.
Yeah.
And then when you say, timeless love Mooji, then I'm awake.
When I say, well, oh, at the end. Oh, very convenient. Very nice. And I say, oh. Very good. There is something really significant in this, and it shows and exposes that there is this force I speak about. That it's not supporting your awakening, you know? And it's there for good reason, actually. I don't see it anything as being totally bad. Even this crisis that you go through is a necessary part. You should look at it also. Even a crisis, you can say, is a gift from God. Because you need it, that friction, in order to aspire and to experience transcending. I say sometimes it is as though consciousness creates the sense of a problem in order to have the experience of transcending it. You need, actually, a bit of trouble to stir up the power of aspiration to go beyond and to go more deeply into your true nature. Otherwise, if everything is covered in honey and chocolate, you will not grow. You will not grow. You will not even be happy. So I'm saying this because I feel it's important to not register challenges as bad luck. You understand? But more as opportunities to exercise the powers of discernment which are inherent in your being to transcend. I feel that largely life is a play of transcending. The more we are strongly identified with the body-mind functioning, I say functioning because I call them functioning, the more we are strongly identified with them, the more deeply we enter into the sleep, whereby we are easily confused. All problems, to me, they appear to be person-based. That side of our nature which tends to gravitate towards, keeping the attention in a kind of personal mindset, because there you will always be in some field of fragmentation, you see, and feel unable to come out, because the nature of the egoic identity is that it is quite insecure, actually, and subject to selfishness, judgments, fear, attachments, desires. Those kind of attributes or qualities are very, very, very much alive in the state of personhood. As you are waking up into more what I say, the state of presence, the natural state of consciousness, in that vibration that you experience naturally, the feeling, I am, which is your name as consciousness, actually. Everyone's name is I am. But in this world, this I am is given another name. I am John, I am Susan, and that denotes your person. And for a while it's fine. I'm not putting any blame. I'm just saying, as you become more aware that you are aware, the grip of egoic energies, they begin to loosen on you. If it's almost as though there are some energetic plays, psychological play, that it is, if it doesn't succeed in pulling you into the shape of a person, it cannot get you to feel a problem. I feel if you get pulled into the identity of a person, then you are very susceptible to the influences of this voice. If you stay as the witness, just witnessing, don't even call yourself a witness, just witnessing it, without identifying, you'll find that they are just clouds passing. They don't, just like they cannot stick into the space, they're just passing. Everything is passing. God has given this wonderful metaphor through time. Like yesterday, we may have had, as I said before, just as clear and alive a field of perceiving, just like we are right now. Like I'm looking at you, and whatever feelings are there, it's real for the moment. But then, that was yesterday. And you cannot dip back into yesterday and produce a sample of yesterday today. Everything is just gone. Some things which make a deep impression in the mind, they seem to somehow leave some footprint in the consciousness, and they build up the sense of yourself. Is being shaped by those beliefs. You see? So watch this. It's a significant pointer. I'm telling you that the play, if you don't get pulled in, it's as though the mind is inviting you to become a person, because when you're a person, you're the most vulnerable, you're the weakest link in consciousness. Your consciousness, but not functioning in your full power. If you stay as the observing, and especially the detached observer of all these things, you will not feel that you are a victim of these energies. You observe them, they're coming and they're going. Whatever you can observe, whether it is a form in the shape of the combination of the elements, or whether it is the form of a thought or a belief, all these things that you perceive are bound in time, and they come and go. If you link into them, if you log into them, it's as though you become also in time. But you cannot be them, because you were there before their arising. You witnessed their, oh yes, this is come now. You witnessed the sense of their presence or duration, and you also witnessed their departure. If you were any of that, then when they go, you will also be gone. But you are here to witness their coming and going. Try to understand that. Be at the place of the witnessing, and look at the environment of the detached witness. Is it pulled into any shape? Is it suffering from any scenario? It is only the identity, and your psychological mind will put you in the position of someone who has a history, and a history with this particular manifestation, and the bite has been taken. And then you're actually trying to swim out of the pool your mind has created. It is very simple. If you don't get it, I would like that these videos, these recordings are free. You can go and just listen to them again. If something you feel, I kind of like that, but I didn't quite get it, watch it again until it becomes clear for you. Because I don't have any wasted words. I'm just pointing to you about this thing. You said something that caught my attention, because you mentioned actually about this thing about when you started to become aware of the witness, but you also was aware of these other things, you see. And I wanted to say, but are you not the witness of both polarities? It's like you forget that you can say, yes, but here was very, very strong, and here, when I go back to the witness, you put that on the other hand. But the witness cannot be put in a position, because any position is also witnessable. Am I speaking too fast? Okay. Okay. Continue from here, if you can, I don't know.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ask me a question.
I should ask you a question? That sounds like somebody knocks at my door and I open it and they say, yes? I think...
After what you said, I'm still trying to take that in.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's true.
I knocked your alignment out a little bit, and you... Okay. Supposing in this state, this present state of mind, you cannot find your coordinates. You don't know where was I when. Okay, but you are in this place at the moment. What about if you don't try to hold on to anything, even the things that I previously said? Just can we do this? Yeah. So right now, your situation presently is already helping you. It's a start. Don't hold on to anything. Don't try to understand and keep anything at all for a moment. So that all you know is that you're here in your existence and that you're perceiving and nothing more. No information being held, no desire to do anything or to go anywhere. Can you still hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, you're just here.
Yeah.
So even a desire for greater understanding, even a desire for enlightenment also, I'm saying don't touch anything at all. Don't touch anything at all. And don't hold on to any self-description of yourself for a moment, because you can do that. I'm not saying destroy anything, I'm just saying don't identify with anything at all. I'm just, you just trust me for a moment. Don't hold any shape, and even the sense of, okay, so what's next, what's next, what's not, so now what? Don't touch next. So just you're here. No waiting, just you're here. No effort to become something or to change something. Don't touch any effort. So it's just important. I want to just try this with you, so that you're not trying to get anywhere. You're not trying to change anything. Just you, only you, as you are, not as you believe you are. So don't touch any belief even about yourself. Anyone can read this. It's fine? Now, whatever this is, I don't know, don't imagine anything also. Don't imagine anything, don't create anything. So really empty, 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 empty. Yeah. Empty, empty. Are you can I ask you a few questions now? Just as you are here.
Yes.
Don't be anything. Are you in a state of hypnosis?
No. No.
No. Okay, right. Do you feel lost?
No.
Have you traveled here to be in this place where you are right now?
No.
Whatever this is, that is your immediate experience. Did it come from somewhere?
I feel like it's here.
It's here. Did you create it?
No.
Just being as you are now. Don't go to your mind. Is there anything missing? That's important for you. Is there anything fundamentally lost? Anything of value?
If I really focus, then there's nothing lost. It feels complete. But it's very hard for me to stay in that level of,
Okay, how are you staying now? By what force? By what? Are you staying here or are you here?
I am here.
Okay. It's important to recognize that, because something can be telling you, oh, it's very difficult to stay here. But you are here. Okay. You are discovering this, whatever this is. I sometimes call it just the place of is or isness. You are discovering this now, but where has it been all this time? Was it somewhere else?
It's here.
Yes. Is it a possession that you have? Is something that you have?
No.
No. Just be with this. If I were to say to you that you maybe went for a nap or you went to sleep tonight, is it possible that you wake up in the morning and this is gone? This itself?
No.
No. Can it fade?
No.
No. And can I ask you, I asked you earlier, did you create it? Are you creating this? And you said?
No.
No. Does it have a beginning?
I can't find the beginning.
Yes. What about an end? Is there a place, a point where it is not?
I can't find that either.
Yes. Can this die? Can it just end? Don't go to your mind.
My mind's saying, I don't know.
Yes. Yeah, I'm not asking your mind.
Feels like it is here and it has always been here.
Yes. Yes. Who is saying this? Is that which is saying this different from this?
It's hard for me to say, but it feels like this is saying it.
Yeah. You being what? It's hard for you to say. You being what? Slow down.
So I feel that I'm observing.
Yes.
Yeah.
That which is observing, can that itself be observed?
Yeah.
As what?
Something's trying to observe, and something behind it, or deeper, is observing even this.
Yes. How do you know it is deeper if you're not there? You say something deeper, then that deeper is also observed, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
When I asked you these questions, were you thinking your answers or were you seeing your answers and feeling them?
So some of my answers, I was seeing them,
Yes.
and I was spontaneously able to answer them very
Yes.
confidently. Some other answers, I just couldn't, like I was going in and out. Or
For instance?
when you said, will this die, and
Yeah.
does it have a beginning or an end?
Yes.
And I couldn't find, so I quickly started to search. And then I felt maybe I'm thinking the answer rather than...
Yes. And you know why these particular things? Because they're very deep in the human psyche. That death and beginnings are such a strong part of our belief system. You see? So that human part come, and that's why you started to think. Because something says, but how can something be that didn't begin? And how can it be not having an end? Because everything have end. So the mind came in, but you observed that or not?
Yes.
Yes. from the place where you could observe that subtle movement of mind, in that observing place, are you one or two?
I'm one.
Yes. One as a number or one as a whole?
One as a number.
One as a thing?
I can't grasp it, so for me it's not a thing. It is
Yeah.
some presence.
Gotcha. Okay. And do you feel, in response to the questions I've been asking you, you're answering from a place of truth?
As much as I can. Some of them I feel are, they are coming from a place of truth. I'm observing it and saying it.
Yes.
Others I'm
You
trying.
who are observing is what? Is it an object or not? That which is observing, when I say, can that itself be observed? In order to be observed, it must have some qualities that are discernible. Can the observer in this place, can that observer be an object observing other objects? Can this question be met?
Yeah, there's something that says I'm trying, but then I'm like, who is trying?
Thank you. Yes. So what you are feeling is some thoughts are coming saying, yes, I'm trying to do, but it's been recognized, but that's a thought also being observed. So once you recognize as a thought being observed and not a calling card to come into shape with that, then it has lost its power. An opportunity that would earlier have been taken where you became someone doing something was not bought into, and it's simply passed and is weakness to pass. Now let's leave everything now like that. That which is here, does it need any journey? Don't hold a sense of person.
No.
Okay, hold the sense of person. Which is truer? The place without the person or the place of the person?
So right now the place of person seems constricted.
Yes.
The other place, I'm still trying to suss it out.
Yes. Yes. Don't identify with that. Is it witnessable now or not? If you refrain from being pulled into shape, yes. Do you feel trapped in any way?
No.
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 Okay. So the exercise is finished. You can go back to your old identity. It's all right. No, we promise that just for a few moments we just look and see what you discover. Is it something you can keep? Or is it something you create?
No.
Whatever you discover of yourself, is that itself a practice?
No. It's actually very simple.
Yes. Thank you.
Timeless love. Thank you, Mooji.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Very good. Very good. Thank you. That's you.
Namaste, Mooji.
Namaste.
Uh, since the first day, I was trying to ask a question, and I was so afraid. I was ashamed of what can come up. And basically, I would be the opposite of the gentleman before me. I don't want to feel like that,
You don't want to feel like what?
like hopeless. I feel like I want to try and change however I
But
feel.
he doesn't want to feel hopeless either. He's quite happy to be happy.
Yeah, exactly. He
Yeah,
wants to
yeah.
stay like that, and me, I
Yeah.
don't want to stay like I feel.
You don't want to stay like what?
Like I feel now,
Which
Like-
is?
stuck and
Yes.
not knowing what to do,
Yeah.
trying to find something
Yes.
to make me happy.
Yes.
And I feel like I'm creating my own problem.
Yes.
It's like I'm here trying to find something,
Yeah.
and I don't know what.
It's a good start. It's a good start.
Because for the,
it would be very. I'm happy to look with you. If you're open.
I try to be open.
Okay. So could you just run by some of the things you said now? You don't want to feel stuck,
Yes, in
Yes.
doubt.
in
and
doubt. Okay.
Distanced from people and in
Yeah,
fear.
Yeah. Again, I'm going to come back to the same single medicine in some way, just to say, can we just start as just observing the things you're saying? Just observing them, yeah? So the feeling, I don't want to feel stuck. I don't want to feel stuck is an understandable statement. Nobody wants to feel stuck. Okay, I don't want to feel stuck. But is that anything more than an idea right now? I don't want to feel stuck. You know, I hear the words, I don't want to feel stuck. I hear the words. Is it anything more than just those words being believed within you or not believed? Because if it is not believed, you probably wouldn't worth mentioning it. But something is believed. So those words spoken there must carry some identity or some belief in them. Is it fair to say that?
Yes,
Yeah.
I do believe that.
So that is also observed, no? You can observe it. You can also not really bother to observe it and just, like we do very often, just accept that the things you think is just the way things are. Because very often when I listen to people, it sounds like the things they say is what they're believing right now. And it's enough for them, it's okay. But here in satsang, I cannot let you get away with it like that. I want to ask you, is the things you're saying really true? Or what you say just now, you know, I really don't want to be like this, I don't want to get stuck, I don't want to feel stuck, I don't want to feel this thing. And I say, can we start at just saying the words you say, in what way are they real? If you don't identify with this feeling of the one who is stuck. Isn't a one who is stuck a sort of feeling that is observed? I know it may sound strange because we are not accustomed to looking and to question ourselves in this way. But the power of it is undeniable. Because we also say many things which we have not proven to be true. We have just inherited our language and our habits. Your friends say that and you say that, and you all seem to go, ha 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 ha, you too, and whatever it is. And we don't look any further, but I'm just asking you, can you see that the things that you're saying, or even believing, are only there because they're believed in? If that's not useful, we can drop it and I can try another door.
I somehow know that's only true because I believe it. But
Yes. It's not that it's only true, it's only effective because you believe in it. And the belief in it, is that also observable? I'm just asking anybody. Even the act or the function of believing in something, isn't there an awareness that knows, yes, I believe in it, or something believes in it? Okay, if I didn't believe in it, I wouldn't be talking about it. There's a lot of things I don't actually believe or disbelieve, and they don't get recorded in my consciousness. So there is a relationship there with certain thoughts which are accepted to be true or important, and so they begin to register in consciousness. When they register in consciousness, they become active, meaning that they have influence now in your mental, emotional, psychological functioning. They have joined in. Is that not also observable? You see, I keep going about this observing place, because as soon as you really recognize your observing capacity, you're going to find your life is going to flower, or is going to feel very different. But if you're just locked into, well, I think this and so that's what is, then of course we are free. We are free to be free, and you're free to be bound. But when you say and you stand up, and I can hear in your voice that you don't want, something doesn't want to live like this. It doesn't want to be pulled around by its own projections or thinking, you see. Then I say, then this conversation can begin to happen and have some power. If the urge in you is that I want to be free from the psychological influence or the hypnosis of conditioning, because I recognize that something is playing here that is not in accord with my deeper feeling, how can I get beyond this? How can I get out of the trap of this? And I'm saying, well, actually it can be quite easy. But if it's easy or hard will depend on how open you are to look with me. Can you say any of the things you say without identity? Could you say any of those things that you said without identity?
no, I cannot.
No. Identity is at the root of them. If there's no identity with these things, they don't exist. And even identity obviously is a thing observable, because you could answer that question. So even the force of identity, which is normally not questioned, it's happening to me. Why do we need to go further? That's your proof. And I said, no, it's not. Because this me that you speak from is also just a kind of, some kind of construct. It's an idea you have of yourself. There's a deeper space behind that hardly anyone refers to. You may call it the unknown, or that it doesn't exist. You may think that all that exists for you is what you know through your mind and your conditioning. And I'm trying to take that on and say, well, let's take a look together and see. Because I know there's much, much more to you than the things you're saying. You fall asleep?
No.
Okay, so let's talk. Tell me something.
I'm just trembling.
Yeah, something was struggling. Something was struggling, and you're in the habit of calling that thing you. Something is struggling to try and get that. But if you keep observing, you might come out of that duality that makes you feel it is you who's struggling. Maybe the idea you have of yourself is struggling with another idea it has of itself. Watched in a place that's not struggling at all. I'm just checking.
I'm trying to look.
Yes. Even trying to look, there's awareness of trying to look. And there's a belief that if I look, I will find something. But I'm always a bit earlier than you. I'm saying, but even this trying to look, you don't have to, if you know that there's something trying to look, and the awareness of that which is trying to look, if you stay just as the awareness, maybe this trying to look is not so valuable. Because what you're trying to do is to be at the place where you are aware, which is where you are when you are observing. Is it too simple or too complicated?
It's a bit still too complicated for me.
It's too complicated for the one you take yourself to be. In the true place of yourself, you cannot be, nothing is complicated, nothing is even simple. But the mind somehow is the part of the role of the psychological mind is to stop the discovering consciousness from recognizing that. Is it an evil play? Well, I see it's just part of the game, actually. If you overcome it, it's finished. If you don't overcome it, it still continues. Can you overcome it? Yes, you can. Everybody can. But not at my choosing, not at my timing. Maybe not even at your timing. We just look and see. We keep starting from the place of personal identity. Even your urge to look and to travel and to journey and spirituality is always starting from the place of personal identity. But the place of personal identity is observable or not? Am I on my own in this one? Actually, I am. I am on my own in it. You don't as yet realize how significant this pointing is. Maybe your mind is even disappointed. Yeah, I didn't come for all this talk. Why does he talk so much? Why doesn't he just vanish? I don't know. Because my talking is more silent than your silence. Each time you speak, if you watch, from what position do I speak? Is it from the person or from consciousness? And what does consciousness need to say? And if it is from the person, is there not the weakness to the person? I would ask you to care to find out, because that simple discovery is going to be greater than anything the person can achieve. Can I say like that? I'm going to shrink it down, baby food language, no? When you speak, when you talk about your life and the world and your travels and your journeys and your hopes and aspirations, when you say I, where is this I starting from? Is it starting from the person or from consciousness? Watch and see. If it's starting from your person, whatever your person say or aspires to become will never reach or attain or be anywhere near as magnificent as that which watches the person speaking. What I'm saying to you now, I hope you can recognize and prove into yourself. It's a reflex somehow to speak from. Yes, I'm going to do this, and I don't agree with this, and what I think, and you, and blah, blah, blah. Where are you speaking from? Watch. I'm going to show you a new exercise. It's called eye watching. Watch your eye sense. Because until now, nobody is watching this eye sense. It's watching what the eye is watching and what the eye is saying. But I'm just saying, clarify the position of the eye that you speak from. Is this too complicated? No. So, watch this. Start if you want. I would say sometimes, go to any restaurant, any chai shop around here, they're busy enough and stuff. Sit there quietly and have a cup of tea and stuff, and listen to the conversations that happen, and watch where they're starting from. What did you think of this satsang this morning? Yeah, I thought it was really good. I mean my mind. You, what do you think? Tomorrow we're going to go, I. And see each time the feeling of I, even sometimes if I is not used, the indication is of an I. Where does it start from? From personhood or from the sense of presence? And you have an idea of how your own sense of I is operating. And if you're speaking always from the place of person, you're going round and round and round. You may think you're going up and up and up, but we're going round and round and round. If you begin to observe and recognize that the starting point of these conversations are in a place of personhood, and that is consciously observed, then you'll discover what you see. What is watching even this person? What is watching this person? Is it a person? Don't give it to your mind. You don't need your mind here. Just sober looking, just look and feel. And you'll see that there's a great expanse in you that you for a long time have not been aware of. It's not hiding, but it appears to be hidden. In the most ignorant state, you're not even aware that it is hidden. Because if you feel it is hidden, at least you know it's there. And some people maybe don't even have any idea that there's such a thing. Consciousness, what the hell is that? I don't believe in that. Well, you need consciousness to believe or even disbelieve. But you're unaware. So a simple exercise, if you speak, even think, even at the place of only thinking, if you can watch where it starts from, it's almost 99% of the time starting from I person. I person. There is no enlightened person. As you begin to recognize that the person's sense is a construct observable, then you automatically become aware of the space of being which is not contaminated by personhood. But then it is as though something is trying to shut that down, like pulling the curtains closed. Say, no, come back to reality. Something is saying, meaning come back to the mind. But that is also observed. Don't identify with anything. Just keep looking. And as you're looking, you're not taking any juice from what you're looking at, but from where you're looking from and what it is that's looking. There's another dimension undiscovered, largely. The dimension of being and presence. That's your first major leap into freedom. Come to this place first, and then I can guide you beyond even this place. Come to this place first. Conscious witnessing. In the beginning, you might think, you might be fascinated that, but wait, everything that is seen, has got some attitude stapled around it, generating from the sense of personhood. But this is seen. As soon as it is seen that it is a construct, you stop supplying energy. And the greatest energy you can give to something is to identify with it. You are hemorrhaging energy to something, to a tree that bears bad fruit. I'm not saying the world of the personhood is all bad. It is also consciousness. It is good and bad. It is full of promises, full of a sense of adventure. But very often of vain thinking, false perception, misconceptions, fantasy. When you discover more and more your observing place, you don't have to apply too much philosophy around it. It doesn't need any philosophy. You are in the realm of being, more intuitive, more spontaneous, naturally more trusting, more appreciating, more joy, alive, kind, compassionate, wholesome, loving. These are the perfume arising out of that state. Give it a chance. Look a little bit. It is here that you begin to recognize that what is and what you are one, and that you spontaneously know that what you are is imperishable. Then goes the fear of death and also the fear of life also. Something relaxes. There's a natural trust with life. There's not so much need to believe in things. There's not such drive to speculate. Everything is arising spontaneously here. And you notice life takes care of life, not your mind. And spontaneously you're growing in trust, in peace, in intuitiveness. So this is a simple pointer, no? Simple pointer. No one need to say, oh, but it's too difficult for me, I can't do that. No. Watch, who is saying that? Is it the I person or I presence? I think it's significant enough to find out and to experience also. I'm not asking you to believe only. Belief is great. But belief also must transmute into experience. Then you can stand in the authority of your own seeing. But it's not personal. And there's no pride. This is very important. Because the truth will not be revealed in an arrogant mind. So, are you full or empty?
Feels like I'm a fool.
You're a fool. Oh. You're still over there, huh? Okay.
Yeah.
Just hold on to that stuff. Take care of your luggage. Because if you don't care for it, it might get stolen. Hold on to your luggage, man. you are able to observe, you know. There is a persistence in this psychological personal identity. It's almost as though it's not going to go anywhere. Sometimes I get the impression from some people, like the mind is so much like this, it's saying, listen, you can talk all you like, but I ain't moving. I ain't moving. It's you and me. It's you and me. Can that be true? Who is first, you or your mind? You can exist without the psychological force of the mind, but it cannot exist without you. Judge which is the greater and stay there. Is it your mind observing you or you observing your mind? It is important to know the difference or to discern the difference between the mind and self. The mind, the psychological mind, cannot exist by itself. It can only exist in a relationship. When you observe, simply observe, you are not trapped into a relationship, even with the things you observe. Experience, try it. Try it. Because it can only be proven in you. Some of you who have come here, I'm not talking about your physical journey, but from the place you have come, you cannot go back. Some of you here, you've come from a certain place. You are not native to that place. And what you will discover here, you will not be able to go back. This is good news. Also. Some of you, your life will become, when you see this, it's like you're walking through a shredder and all that is of no value is shredded behind you. Like a writing on water. You cannot read it half a minute later. The consciousness does not need to be so attached to memory. It is the person that needs to remember. The consciousness is always complete. It can make use of memory, but not to serve ego, but to serve life. Are you inside your head, or are you able to observe your head? When you can observe what is playing in your head, where are you looking from? Don't think. No. You are not obliged or compelled to be stuck in the bubble of your own projections. It's not even your projections directly. It's the cultured and cultivated self's projection. For a long time we were not told this. But this knowledge has always been in the world, but the world was not in this knowledge. Now you have the possibility of knowing And this knowing is not a mental or psychological or intellectual knowing. It's a knowing where knowing and being are one. It's not separate. It's not a knowledge that you have. It's the knowledge that you are. There's a silence prevailing in you. It's not the fruit of your mind. It is the fruit of the grace that is with you. The more you learn to observe with detachment, it's as though you step up to another level, another platform of consciousness, another elevation. And each step you make, it's like a whole plateau of consciousness where things work differently, more refined, more intuitive, less heavy, more spacious, more kind, more. And the grip of bodily identity becomes more light. One experiences oneself in a more formless, intuitive sense than as merely a three-dimensional object, which is fine. Everything is fine. On every layer, there is consciousness. On every layer, even in hell, there is consciousness. But the more you move in consciousness towards here, the higher you experience. It could even be told to you one day, let's go beyond even heaven. When you're able to not depend on forms, even divine forms, you dwell in the joy of your own splendor. And yet there's no cynicism towards life or towards the world. There's nothing to fight. All is yourself. And naturally you would not set up any conflict within yourself. The conflict comes from the mind. Jesus said something. He say, trust in God, speaking to his disciples. Trust also in me, because I have overcome the world. What is the world that he's speaking about? Is it a physical, geographical place? No. I have overcome the world here. The world of thought and feeling, identity, the world of greed, of shame. All this, I've transcended it by going where? By being here. In your God place. It is the same thing, I'm saying. The more you observe, the less you identify. The less you identify, the more space there is. The more space there is, the more peace there is. The more peace there is, the more love there is. The more love there is, the more kindness there is. This is a tree that bears immediate fruit. A fruit that gets sweeter and sweeter, but never becomes oversweet. But I don't want to talk about it. Let's leave some space for your discovering in your own way. I just show you this key and the door. For those of you who need to feel entering. For others, it is like Rumi's poem when I told you. He said, I've been knocking at a door. It opens. I have been knocking from inside. You are already inside, dreaming that you're outside, knocking, let me in, let me in. And this door has to be open. What is this door opening? Understanding. When understanding comes, you wake up to the fact, but I've always been here. All journeys are implying I'm going somewhere, but I am here. I imagined I was away. This is the dream of existence. Now I realize I'm always here. I do not curse the dream. I simply woke up. I don't reject anyone. I have no enemies. But they may perceive I am their enemy. But I am just the one who they are. I said before I said this thing, the world is not what you think it is. The world becomes what you think it is. I find myself in the last day or two not taking so many questions, because there are things that I want to share with you. And I feel we can all share together. It is our satsang picnic. It's not just a bag of chips for you. So we can all eat, we can all understand together, because the subject is one. Thank you for today, your attention. My simple advice for you is don't offer this to your mind. Keep quiet. Keep quiet. Trust that whatever is of value here will find its place. If it resonates with you, but it doesn't resonate in your mind, but at a deeper place you feel it, welcome it. I shared with you that when I first met Papaji, it wasn't love at first sight. I realized that I was not learning very much, but I was changing a lot. And this is grace also, because I could not claim any victory for myself. I was not doing anything at all. But understanding was developing in me. This is the way of grace. With some of you, the words will be very easily assimilated, like pouring water into water. But in whichever way it might feel for you, if you accept grace and God is your teacher. And He knows what each one need. Trust. Trust. Whether you perceive God or you believe in God or you want to call it pure consciousness, same thing. Peace be with you. Thank you. Okay, we have some music today. That's really good.
Thank you, Guruji, and just to say that we love you so much and thank you for being in our lives. Thank you for inspiring this music. Too many times I could not say, hoping to find you in this place. Lord, I've been high, I have been low, I have been scared to let go. In your fire I see there is no room for me.
Children of God, follow the sun. What you are not, you'll overcome. Children of light, follow the breeze. I've learned to love my enemy. In your fire they cry. There is no room for I. There is nowhere to turn. In your fire I burn.
one place in the Ribu Gita, I'm finding here it reads like this: there is not an atom apart from the non-dual, perfectly full Brahman. Not even a bit at all. All that is seen as manifest or manifold is of the nature of Brahman. The all-pervasive Brahman is indeed of the nature of the self. Therefore, my love, be liberated by the unwavering certitude that all ever is of the nature of the perfectly complete Brahman, and that eternal Brahman is none other than myself alone. And the sage does not speak of a personal self, but of the same self that is the source and essence of each one here. The all-pervasive Brahman is indeed of the nature of the oneself. Therefore, beloved one, be liberated by the unswerving certitude that all ever is of the nature of the perfectly complete Brahman, and that eternal Brahman is myself alone. The sage is speaking on behalf of each one to the liberation in you, to the truth of you. It is not a personal statement. It is not a compliment to the ego. It is the revealed truth of what we are when we are free from the spell that makes us believe we are merely the ego person and this form itself. That belief is called delusion. You are not this. We are not that. But for a time we will believe that. And then for a time we will begin to awaken from that. And for a timelessness we will be that.